Hey, I swear you had a...
I do. I have a Gillen Group one tucked in there somewhere. It's big metal. Sorry. Bad info.
That's the starting music, John. Sit down.
Hello, hello.
I have to crack this open.
Just for you, Logan. I cracked my own.
There we go.
That was good.
Hello, we are Real Estate Update. Did you know?
I didn't know.
You didn't know. Sit down, Don. Get comfortable.
I'm trying.
All right, we're Diamond Realty Associates over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Premier Properties. And I'm Trace.
And I'm Dawn.
And I'm Amber.
Yay. We're missing Erin today because she's off on vacation or something.
I think she's lost in the woods of
Wisconsin.
Who goes to Wisconsin? I mean,
Apparently Erin does.
Erin.
We miss you.
Just kidding, Erin.
All right, we're going to talk about
Stuff.
credit. Okay, so last week we started talking about why Fargo Moorhead is renting instead of buying. And the first reason was they couldn't afford it.
We couldn't afford it.
Nope, the second reason, and that's what we'll talk about today, is bad credit.
Bad credit. No credit.
I just want everybody to know that it is not a bad thing to have bad credit.
But you should know what kind of credit you have.
You should know what kind of credit you have. Yes, my credit is all over the place. I'm not going to lie. But at least I know what kind of credit I have.
This is something that everyone deals with. Don't think you're alone or look at other people around you and assume they've got perfect credit. People have probs when it comes to finances.
Word.
Word.
All right, so my credit's not great, but I know why.
And you're fixing that.
I'm fixing it. Well, student loans, man. Everybody has student loans.
Oh, I'm glad.
And if you don't, you've got credit card debt. I don't have student loans anymore, but I have all of the credit card debt that I need to get paid.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I didn't have credit cards when I went in to get pre-approved for mortgage. He's like, you don't have bad credit. You just don't have any credit.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to open up a credit card to start building my credit because all I had was student loans and a car payment at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then it gets crazy from there.
Yeah.
Okay, credit cards are a slippery slope, man.
Mm-hmm. They allow you a lot of things, flexibility in tight times, and they have a lot of good perks to them, but it's really important to reel them in. Mine are not reeled in. They're very much out of control.
What is the debt to income ratio that we're supposed to try to keep under
40?
Under 40. So, some people can go up to like 49%, but that's really hard on your budget to do that.
And it depends on what program you're applying for too, for your debt to income ratio, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it does.
And when we're talking debt to income, that is the monthly bills you have going out versus your monthly income. So that's where we're getting that ratio.
Yeah. So if you're spending 50% of your income on bills, you might not get approved for a mortgage because that doesn't leave you a whole lot of living expenses.
Or 100%. Yeah.
Or 100%.
Not getting along.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So what's bad credit?
Having bankruptcy or foreclosure,
which may be a more workable situation in certain situations.
Absolutely.
Talk to your lender, talk to financial advisors.
Because people do really think that since they had bankruptcy or a foreclosure in the last 7 years or whatever, that they can't get a loan. And there's programs out there that can help if you've
that's changed.
Filed for bankruptcy. I think you have to wait 2 years.
Yep. 2 years. Yep.
I think it's 2 years.
Which isn't a super long time either.
No.
Mm-mm.
So when we talk about bad credit, a number which would be bad is probably under
600.
Under 600. Well, and the FHA can go down to 580. It's just you don't have good interest rates. You'll have to put more down.
The process is a little bit more anxiety involved.
There's just a lot more steps.
There's more hoops to jump through.
But that's because your lender's trying to protect you too from getting in over your head. So it's not to make your life more difficult. And some people, it just is what it is. But if there's things you can do to improve your credit, what can we do to improve?
Keep making monthly payments on time. Mm-hmm. You're going to build your credit back the best by on-time monthly payments.
That's huge too, because my friend said she hasn't done a thing except for schedule automatic payments. She's like, I'm just so bad at keeping up with it. I forget about it.
Yeah.
And just scheduling those automatic payments, she said her credit's gone up like something ridiculous, like 80 points or something insane, like in just a couple months. And she's like, I didn't do anything else.
Well, she didn't open any other credit cards though either.
Credit cards, no. So I mean, that was huge. That's a huge thing for her, for anybody.
And keeping in mind, like if you can pay a little bit extra, that shows up. And also, don't just go applying for all kinds of stuff because that does hurt you. If you don't need another credit card, don't just fill it out because it gives you 10% off at Maurice's or whatever, you know.
Well, and Angie just told us the other day not to fill out those automatic, like when you get those pre-approved things in the mail or those emails, that those aren't good at all.
No. They're just soliciting for your business more so than anything. And then they're going to give you a higher interest rate than anyone, really.
Banks are a good place. Check with your bank.
Credit unions are really good. So there's ways to build your credit.
And talk with somebody that you're comfortable with, because obviously talking about money is not always the most fun thing to do.
It is literally the most uncomfortable thing for me.
It's awful. And there's resources in our area too. I actually am going to be reaching out to Village Family Services because they offer financial counseling too. And I want to see with how high my debt to income is, if I have any other options to not be paying 100% of my income out every month.
No, they're going to tell you to get like 6 or 7 jobs.
I'm already at 5.
Right. You know.
No, that's good to know. There are resources. And because it is such a sensitive subject, the people who work in these areas, like, they're not judgmental. They get it. And our lenders that we work with are so good about sitting you down, going over your credit and being like, this is what you can do to improve it. And sometimes it'll take a couple months. I would say most first-time home buyers have to work on something. It's not... Not all are ready right away. And that's totally normal, and that's totally okay to take a couple months, make some payments, pay some things off, get that score up. Because in the long run, you're going to be saving so much money, just like with interest rates. You know, if you can get that lower interest rate, you're going to be saving a ton of money down the road.
Yeah.
That'll be worth it.
Absolutely. And your lender, the lenders that we work with that will recommend in us, we are not out to judge. We're out to just help you achieve your goals. None of us are in like the best position ever either. We're all working on it
and
too.
It's so fluid too. Everybody has their ups and their downs too. And I think that's important to know that, I mean, maybe your credit gets better for a little while and then you get hit with, you know, unexpected medical bills or something, you know, your car craps out on you out of the blue.
You forgot to put it in park.
Forget to put your car in park, man. And then you call a tow truck and ask him to jump your car, which just doesn't need a jump. It just needs to be in park.
That's another plug for
Higher Power and Fix It Forward.
Fix It Forward is out to the rescue again.
Yay, we love those guys. And they are not judgy at all.
I mean, I'm sure they had a laugh about that after they left.
A hubcap and now a not properly parked car.
Maybe we should talk them into having like customer of the month. Yeah. Your picture could be up in their place.
My picture needs to be up on their wall, man, so they know when I'm walking in. It'll be something good.
It'd be like, yeah, Trace. I don't know. It'll be kind of funny. I'm sure I'll hear about it.
Okay, good. You'll have to tell me. So why does credit matter? Why does it matter if we have poor credit or good credit?
Well, you're going to be better. You're going to be a better risk for a bank if you have better credit, because then they know that you're going to pay your bills and you're not going to walk away from it. And so that's why your interest rate will be lower. If you have a bad credit score, your interest rate is going to be higher.
You're more of a risk.
And you're more of a risk. And that's how they justify it, is based on risk.
That's a good way of breaking it down.
Mm-hmm.
You're so smart.
It's kind of how you have to think about it, because it's crazy how, you know, paying 8% on a car loan versus 6%, how much difference in interest you're paying over the life of your loan on a car, let alone a house. I mean, 1% for 30 years is a lot of money.
That is a lot when you look at the total costs that you end up paying for like $100,000 house, and then after 30 years, it comes out to what, like $180,000 or $230,000, whatever your interest rate is. Like, so much what you're paying goes towards interest. And I think it was Angie. I just love Angie so much. So much information. But wasn't she the one too saying that if you paid off one extra payment principal payment of your mortgage each year, you could take 7 years off your loan.
Mhm.
And if you make 2 extra principal payments, that's not taxes or anything, it's principal, you could take 10 years off your 3rd-year loan.
That's awesome.
Isn't that insane? Because that's
Yeah.
how much goes towards interest, and we just don't think about it in a big picture. We think so much of, like, what's our monthly payment going to be?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Good to know.
And getting to that, comfortable payment that you're with, why not plan for your taxes at the end of the year? If you do get a refund, put that towards your house.
Oh, sure.
Unless you don't. We always have other expenses.
It feels like free money. I know it's not free. I know it's my money, but it feels like free money when it comes in.
It does.
Until you have to pay it in.
I feel like I deserve something for that.
Wait till you have to pay it.
Yeah.
Then you won't feel that way. You'll be like, I am not giving this to the government.
Yeah.
This is my money.
What are you doing?
The downside of our job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Self-employment, man. Okay, so a bad credit score is probably under 580 for sure. We can work with 580, but we would do what we can to help get you up as much as possible. 620 is pretty average for where a lot of these programs start. You're just a little bit safer. And 680, 700 and above, you're golden, man. You're going to get like pick of the litter for programs. You're going to have a lot more options. And you, like we said before, you don't always need that 20% down. Sometimes you can get away with 3.5%, 0%, just depending on what program you go for.
So why would I want to put 20% down?
Because of our PMI, man.
What is PMI? Poor management information?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, principal mortgage insurance.
Principal mortgage insurance. Because that takes up a chunk of our monthly payment too. If we are paying less than 20%, now we have PMI or MI, mortgage insurance. And that's based on your credit too. So if you have really poor credit, you're going to be paying more monthly interest until you reach that 20%.
And that's there to protect the bank. So if you do foreclose, they get some recoup on that. So it all makes sense.
And so with conventional, I pay mortgage insurance until I'm at 20% down. Or loan to value, whatever. But with an FHA loan?
Life of the loan.
Life of the loan. It's always good to know because sometimes you're approved for that FHA loan, but then you have to look at the cost because if you can get into the conventional, it's going to save you money probably in the long run.
Yep, and that's where it's going to depend on what your goals are and really talking to the lender about how long do you want to be there and what other, do you qualify for VA? Are you in a situation where you could do USDA where those might not be involved?
Absolutely. Well, and I think, like you said too, is just knowing how long you're going to be at that house or, because if an FHA gets you into it and you're paying that mortgage insurance, but you only plan on being there for 3 years.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. You're going to still build equity.
Not hurting anything.
No.
And how long did you say our area people are staying in their homes?
I think it's gone up. It's like 7 to 10 years.
People are staying in their homes longer.
Yes.
Around here at least. Which is good. I mean, it's not such quick turnover. Some people though do it every 2 or 3 years. They're just constantly building equity, buying up, or flipping.
I wish I could do that because then I wouldn't have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know how much? I would never probably unpack.
That would be really hard for me because it's taken me like 3-4 years just to put things on my walls, man.
Right.
I'll come help you with your walls.
I'll just never unpack. My walls will be bare.
It's like, it's my house. Do I really want to put a hole in the wall?
Just one more thing to repair later, Dawn.
I know. But think about that. I'd like to move. I have too much stuff in my house. But
you are going to move to the country with a big shop, and you're going to raise puppies.
And I'm going to raise puppies. Here's to the puppies.
Here's to the puppies.
All the puppies.
That's my goal
all
for
the puppies.
Dawn.
Perfect life for Dawn. And she's still going to sell lots of houses and be a part of our team. That's not changing.
Okay, so buyers who have messed up their credit. Who has that story about the lady with the couch? Is that just something that I heard once upon a time?
Oh, the lady that had money on the couch?
No, she bought herself a new set, like a new furniture set. And they get to closing because when you guys get to closing, they still check your credit before we close. So you can't max anything out. You can't start a new line of credit. You can't do anything. Don't do anything with your credit once that lender checks it. Because right before you close, they check it again. And so they're going to closing, and they found she took out like a line of credit for this giant set of furniture. And they were like, you can't. It's either the furniture or the house. And she picked the furniture.
Oh,
Who
wow.
told us that story?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, wow.
Maybe a lender told us. But yeah, just, down to closing, it's like, well, do you want your new couch or do you want your new house?
Well, didn't one of the independent agents here had somebody that bought a motorcycle a few days before closing and they didn't close?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So there's crazy things that you got to realize they're going to check it and they're going to check it again.
Well, and then one of my clients, they got their credit back up so that they could get it pre-approved. But then once they got pre-approved and they got their credit up, then they start getting hit with all these offers like apply for this credit card and apply for this. And so they checked it out. I don't think they ever actually got one, but those hits to the credit, just checking it out. I mean, when you're already on the edge, it's not worth it. And so that was a little bit of like
living on the edge.
Living on the edge. It was a little touch and go for a bit. Like, are we still going to be able to make this work? And will that credit go up by the time we're ready to close? Because that was the big thing.
Yeah. All of that stuff matters. You have to really communicate with your lender on anything you're thinking about doing financially.
Yeah.
Like quitting your job.
Well, and my new build buyers, they closed 2 weeks early. We moved up their closing because all their money was tied up in closing and waiting to close. And they wanted to buy furniture. They wanted to get their blinds in. They wanted, so they didn't want to move in early. They needed their money again. So we moved up their closing to 2 weeks so they could start putting in all their orders for everything they wanted for the new house. And that worked out for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you talk to your real estate agent, talk to your lender, then you can come up with a plan together instead of putting yourself out there and disqualifying yourself.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Well, and the crazy thing is when we actually bought our house, it was April, and in June, Mike got let go of from his job. So I was like freaking out, like, okay, how am I going to be able to afford this house by myself? I called my parents. I'm like, okay, if he doesn't have a job by such and such, can you just co-sign our loan to get on? What are we going to do? We didn't ever look at a VA loan back then because they had changed the rules and you can only use it once. That's a long time ago. But yeah, he got another job. It was in the same line of business, of work that he did, and we were fine. But it came down to like seriously the last week before we closed and he got a job. I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
So that's good to know too. Same line of work, an explanation for that lack of employment.
Yeah.
That'll make a difference.
Yeah. He got an offer letter from the next place he worked. So,
nice.
And the bank was able to use it, and it helped because it was a local bank and actually a family friend.
Oh,
like
nice.
that he had grown up with. So.
Yeah. See, it pays to know people, man.
Yep.
And to just be open and honest about your situation, because then there's people out there who are willing to help you figure it out, make a game plan.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then my buyers just went through a job change, and the first thing they did was touch base with their lender just to say, okay, this is what's happening. Like, and he's like, yep, that's totally fine. That's not going to affect anything. We're good to go. So that was really good. Because I asked him, I was like, ooh, did we talk to our lender yet? And she's like, already did it. So she was one step ahead of me, and that was perfect.
Well, and they're going to still, like when they pull your credit closer to closing too, that's when they get their final income verifications from your employer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and didn't Angie tell us another story about somebody who was like almost ready to close, didn't have that income verification, and then it come to find out she was being paid under the table.
Yes.
So that just totally put a stop in everything.
I wish I got paid under the table.
Dawn,
I'm kidding.
If there's anybody from the IRS listening, Dawn did not say that.
I have never actually. No. Even working construction for my dad. No.
Girl,
I don't think I'm at liberty to answer that question.
I'm going to plead the fifth. Moving on to the next topic.
Yeah.
So you can improve your credit score by getting a second job, don't you?
Yep. Oh yeah, increasing your income.
So.
And just with those credit cards, having that higher line of credit and lower debt increase their debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
So there's different things you can do. I mean, I wouldn't say to try to like find those loopholes, but just to be conscientious of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And to talk to your lender, man.
Yeah. What was that website we pulled up? Annualcreditreport.com?
Annualcreditreport.com.
And that's not going to give you a score, but it will tell you, you can do it once a year for free, and it'll tell you everything in great detail. And that's a really good resource. Check that out once a year. It's not a Credit Karma. It's not going to give you a number, but it will tell you where you should be fixing things.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to like pay for it. No.
Nope.
And I think you can get one free report each year from each credit union too.
And it'll have all three on there, so you could get it all at once.
Yep. Unless you answer the questions wrong.
So don't answer your questions wrong and get locked out.
I did that.
Hashtag dumb.
Hashtag dumb. And then the mortgage company they'll drop the highest, they'll drop the lowest, and they'll take that middle number. So just to keep that in mind too, that they're.
And their numbers are a little bit tighter too than if you do look on your credit card statement and you have a number, just know that the lender's number is going to be lower than that. It's just life.
Yeah, they just look at it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So
all measured on risk.
So knowing our credit score, we might be a little bit more likely to buy than we thought we were.
Absolutely.
We do not need 700 or 800 credit scores to be qualified.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Moral of the story. That is it. Okay.
Talk to a lender.
So Tasty Tuesday.
Tasty Tuesday.
I didn't draw anybody yet because hold on. Because I want more people to give us really good answers because we did such a good thing and it was so fun. And I just don't think we've gotten enough people to see our video yet because.
So what are we going to do? Like give them till Friday?
Yeah. Yeah, let's give them till Friday. What's today? Wednesday?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. We're good till Friday.
We'll give them an extra day because it is the first day of summer tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
And the longest.
And the longest day.
So even more time to watch our video.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do for Tasty Tuesday, guys?
Habitat for Humanity.
We got
Pot bellies.
Oh.
And Habitat.
But the moral of it was we were at Habitat for Humanity working up an appetite. We made door frames. We framed other things. I don't really even know.
You framed a wall.
Framed a wall. Yeah, we were building a house for the Dominguez family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And I didn't get a completion date, though. Did you?
They told us a couple weeks. So they kind of like told us a little bit how it's going to go over the next couple weeks. Volunteers will help over the next 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say.
And then
they have the trades come in.
Mm-hmm.
So they do not want us helping with like electrical stuff.
Or power tools minus
power. If you guys have never done it, it was so much fun and I totally encourage everybody to do it. We didn't know anything about, we sell houses. We don't know anything about putting them together. And these guys were so good about just being like, make your line here and cut this and move this and nail this. And like, they really walked us through everything to make us feel like we did good, even though they redid
a lot of it.
A lot of what? Apparently, I don't know what flush is and I cannot line 2 boards up.
Seeing it today was awesome. They did the wall raising ceremony. I went there with FMAR and just seeing like what our base was and then them put those walls up was just cool.
Oh, I'll have to drive by it. I'm really excited to see how it comes.
It's great. I can see it when I drive to work.
Yeah. So. I'm just going to look at that north wall every time I drive by. I know I helped with that.
You built the north wall?
Was it the north? Yeah.
Oh.
If it's crooked, man, it wasn't me.
Well, because in the north, we always get the horrible, crazy winds out there. That's why it's okay because I built the headers for the doors, and
so if the door collapses,
when the door collapses or doesn't close, it's all on me. I know.
Okay. Have we gone over absorption rates for this month or no?
We did last week.
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't gotten them, but things are starting to pick up a little bit.
Yep. We've seen changes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 listings going live this week. So if you want to move to
Good.
Moorhead, let me know.
Yes.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful houses.
Okay. We're going to post all of them.
They're all going up.
Yeah. And we have open houses this week.
We do.
Yes. So come find us. We'll have
see.
that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So wrap it up.
buysellfmhomes.com or Facebook at Diamond Realty Associates.
And our phone number is 701-526-4935.
And as always, stay classy, FM.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.